Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Unveiled Voices. Today is another guest episode. Should we tell them who the guest is?
I think we can.
We have with us in the studio today Sister Muhammed Lateefah. Sister Muhammed Lateefah is a children educator, Islamic learning advocate, and the author of the Little Muslim Journal, an Islamic activity and learning journal combining Quran studies, authentic hadith lessons, Islamic themed stories, guided reading, writing and reflection exercises. Our work majorly revolves around literacy development with faith-conscious education, making Islamic learning joyful, interactive, and rooted in love for Allah and His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, Sister Latifah, first introduce yourself.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My name is Muhammed Lateefah Omanego. I'm a child educator, the founder and lead instructor of Islamic Tales for Kids. I'm married with 2 kids.
When you were reading the intro, what was coming to my mind is how does one actually get into this field? Let's take it back to, 10 years, 15 years ago. What was the first time you were like, okay, this is actually what I'm going to do? And what drove you to that?
Okay, let me be very honest. I've always wanted to be a lawyer.
Oh,
Okay.
Yes, but I kept trying admission. I was not getting it. I don't know what went wrong, but I didn't get admission. Then the last trial was when I got admission for Islamic Studies. So that was when it clicked.
what uni? What university?
University of Ilorin. Yes, I've been trying for ABU Zaria.
Oh,
Okay.
Yes, several attempts and I didn't get admission. In fact, University of Ilorin was my first trial. Yes, and I got it. So I put in for law, but I was given Islamic Studies.
Is that something they do? They just automatically change people's courses.
So I don't know what went wrong, and my JAM result was fine. My post JAM was fine, and I got Islamic Studies. Yeah.
I think that when it comes to Nigeria, there needs to be more transparency in
how?
school. I don't know how it is now, but I know
Okay.
that because I went to Unilag. The thing with Unilag was if you pass and you pass the post jam and you hit the score for the merit list, you will get in. Like there was no, is now post that merit list, you might not get in. So
Yeah,
I think that
that's
maybe if more schools have that kind of bar where it's just more transparent, like you know that okay, this is what I'm aiming for, then you know exactly why. But imagine not knowing why. Anyway, let's not digress. Back to you. So take us back to that time where okay, you've been trying to get in for law. I assume you were also doing other things while you were waiting to get admitted into school. And then
yeah.
you finally got this admission for Islamic Studies. Why did you decide, okay, I'm just going to go for it?
Well, when I finished secondary school because my dad taught us Arabic, Quran, so it was beautiful with him. So I got that interest there first, but it wasn't something I knew I could do. Then when I gained admission, the thing my dad told me was that maybe Allah wants to use you for something. Like I can remember very well. That was what it is because I felt like Islamic studies, so people study Islamic studies in the university. So I wasn't really happy, but I just wanted to go to school because I was tired of staying at home. Then when my name came out, I was like, maybe Allah wants to use you for something. And when I got in, it was easy for me because I did 3 years in, what do they call it? I had to go to madrasa after my walima to Quran. So I went back. So I did year 1, year 2, year 3. So it makes it easy for me during my years in the university. It was as if I'd done all of these things before, but this time I'm now learning it in a different form. Even when I came out, I taught Islamic studies for 2 years, secondary school. There's one school at Ikra College. Iba. So I taught IRK there and I just knew I had it, but I was just scared, very scared.
So for the uni courses you did, was it tailored around training you guys to be an educator from the Islamic point of view, or how were your courses structured?
Studying Islamic studies at the university is quite different from the one we do at the madrasa because this time they would go deep into Islamic knowledge. We have different courses, and this time different lecturers with vast knowledge about Islam. And they are not teaching us in Yoruba. They're teaching us in Arabic and English. What it looked like in the university was having a deep knowledge about Islam, and this time in a unique manner. Because even when I got to university, I knew there was something like Islamic calligraphy.
Okay, so we have the background. Your dad teaching you Islam was nice. You went to school for it, and then you are in your final year, right? You're going to leave school soon. What's going through your mind? Because I know in my final year, I was like, okay, I need to get serious and get a job soon. So was that what you were thinking, or was it something else completely?
It was something else completely. I was actually targeting banking because we did Islamic banking. So I wanted to go into the sector where we have to do Islamic banking. So I went for interviews in various banks. Unfortunately, I didn't get any.
Again, God is calling you.
Then I switched into teaching.
And so the teaching you started to do after school, was it that you then got a job for it, or was this more of your own thing where you were trying to teach people more informally?
No, I actually got a job for it.
And how long did you do that for before you then started to think around building your own brand as an Islamic educator?
No, I did that for 2 years. Then the pay was very small. So I wanted something bigger. So I started seeking for jobs on the island.
For IRK?
No, it wasn't for IRK teacher anymore.
Okay.
It was 9 years. It wasn't for IRK teacher. I was just looking for early years teaching. I wanted to go into teaching kids. I got tired of teaching grown-ups, so I wanted to go into teaching children.
What's the biggest difference, at least over the years you've been teaching, what's the biggest difference between teaching a younger person, like kids, versus someone who's slightly older? And why did you pick kids particularly?
So the kids, right? Okay, with with the grown-ups, I tend to read more. And like I said, at a point I was scared. Because sometimes when I go to class, they begin to ask deeper questions that I would have to go back to my books in school and have to read. And I was scared of making mistakes. I got scared, like, oh, maybe I should try the kids.
Didn't the kids actually ask less questions?
That was what I thought. Okay, if I go into teaching kids, they'll ask me less questions. I don't have to be scared meeting my pupils. Even the pupils used to say, oh, Mrs. Muhammed, you're always scared when you come to class. So I wanted to run away from that aspect.
I see.
Thinking that when I teach younger kids, they'll ask me less questions. But I was telling myself a big lie.
That wasn't the case, eh?
It wasn't.
I can imagine.
Let's then zoom out to what you have then tried to build for yourself. Let's start from the basics. If a mother has a child, the child is 1 year, 2 year old, depending on the environment where they are in. Some get exposed to like the Ilekio we all grew up with early on. Do you think the process should fall on educators like you, or it also needs to fall on the parents? And the reason I'm asking is you have already been trained. I mean, you went to uni, you were trained specifically in it. For most parents, what they have is like the residual knowledge of what they knew growing up. Maybe or they also went to Ilekio, or maybe one lecture here and there. It's not like they were really trained in the act of teaching kids. Do you think as parents, there needs to be that time carved out for you to intentionally learn how to train your kids or how to teach your kids?
For me, Tarbiyah should start from the parents. Because the first school a child will pass through is the parents, and most especially the mother. Because the kids tend to spend more time with the mom. So it falls heavily on the parents. Then we educators, the society, the community, we are just going to be secondary. We just want to polish what they've been taught.
So again, to what we always say on the podcast, finding knowledge for yourself, because you can't pour from an empty cup. So
that's why it's advisable that for every parent, I know it's not easy. Sometimes it's not something we learn at the beginning, but at any point in time that you see that I need to do this, it's not too late. We learn while we teach these kids. So even if the parent does not have, any knowledge about it, you can learn. Thank God there are so many things you can source for online, read about it, and you teach them. In that process, you are teaching yourself, you are teaching the children. Then you can now as well enroll them in some of these Arabic classes to polish what you have also learned. We have to work hand in hand together.
I remember when we were young, right? Sometimes the alphas or the ustaz that used to teach us will say something like, oh, parents have no trouble paying thousands of
For
naira
school.
for the Western education. When it comes to learning the Quran, it's like,
$500.
just take this 10K. Is that still the case? Is that what you see? And should parents just do better? Nigeria is also hard.
I think we are evolving, we are growing. So it's no longer the case. With my kids, with my pupils, they are willing to pay to give their child Islamic education because I think we are seeing what the world has turned into. So we need to go back to Islam. And thank God Islam covers everything about our lives. So now parents are deliberate about giving their child Islamic education.
While we have Islamic educators like you, people that actually studied it, we also still have like the vast majority of the unstructured Islamic educators, right? Where it's not necessarily that they were trained as educators, they probably just maybe found themselves in it and yeah, they created the Lekio. And if we talk to most of our peers, okay, maybe why did you not learn this when you were younger? It's always because, when I was going to Lekio, Afa was beating me and then they stopped going. So considering the fact that we still have that vast majority of the Afa Lekos running and teaching for them is more from a place of fear, and then you have the Islamic educators, people that are coming from a different angle. How do you advise parents to marinate that middle ground such that when their kids are being trained, it's not from a point of view of fear?
That is why, as an Islamic educator, so this is what I do. I don't just teach them. So there's this word, what's the word? Nurture. Yes. So that's what most of our fast, that's what they do not have. Some of them are learning that now. During my time, the owner of my madrasa, he did not just teach us, he nurtured us. So that's why most of my mates during my madrasa time, we were not scared. He was like a father figure. He wasn't just a teacher. So what parents should do is that even if they don't have access to the normal madrasa they have around, they can enroll some of their kids to these Islamic madrasas like my own. There are so many others like that. We don't just teach them, we nurture them. Because when you teach with fear, the child will not thrive in a place where he or she is being taught with fear. But a place where a child is being taught with love, affection, that child will see the beauty of that thing you are teaching the child. You're telling the child that you have to pray. Don't shout at that child that you have to pray. If you don't pray, I'm going to beat you. Let that child know that if you do not pray, not that Allah is going to be angry with you. You don't use the word Allah is going to be angry with you. Allah is not going to be happy with you. They want Allah to be happy with them. So use positive words. Don't use the negative word. They'll be scared when you use negative words. So what we need to do, even as parents, not just Islamic education, anything we want to instill in our child, we need to teach it with love. Don't be too hard. Don't shout at that child. The child will run away. And even if the child does not run away, the child will only do it because you have asked that child to do it. That child will not see the love. Let's take Salat, for instance. What I tell my son, at first I was like that I will shout at him. He's just 6. So I shout at him, Muhammad, won't you go and pray and all that? But then I noticed that he's always doing it out of fear. So his dad and I just sat him down and told him that, do you know that when you pray, you are like having a conversation with Allah? Don't you want to talk to Allah? Allah has given you 5 times to talk to him. There are so many things you want to tell him that you want your daddy to do for you. It is only Allah that will provide it for you. So with that, he got interested. So even if he forgets, I don't shout at him. I just leave him. So when he comes to remember by himself, I've not spoken to Allah today. And as he grows older, he's going to get used to it. Not because we forced him or we made him fear that you have to pray, but we made him see the beauty of observing his salat. We were listening to one nasheed by Abdul. His song is titled Passing By. Like we are on this surface of the earth for a period of time. And my son was completely quiet. And the next thing he said was that, Mommy, now I need to go and pray. Like he stood up, performed ablution and prayed. He didn't do that out of fear. He was just the constant lecture he was receiving. And he saw something like that again. That was like a remembrance. And he went to pray. So that's what I think parents should just do. And madrasa, let's not teach these children with fear anymore. Let us make them see the beauty of what we are teaching them.
This would be a good segue into your own organization and what you particularly do. So help us understand, for somebody who has never heard about Islamic Tales for Kids, what are you about? What exactly do you do?
Okay, this is what we do at Islamic Tales for Kids. It's an online madrasa where we have different clubs. So for now, we have just 4 clubs. We have the toddlers club, that's 18 months to 3 years. We have the kids club, 5 to 7 years. We have the book club, 7 years to 10 years. Then we have the teens club from 13 to 16. Yes. So the way I structured it, I made it like a normal school. So we do our classes termly. We have different teachers for different subjects. We have Quran, we have Hadith, we have Arabic. So for my own session, I take them storytelling, I take them poems, I take them rhymes, I also take them games, and all of these are Islamic based. For the rhymes, I compose them myself. So what I just do is I just look at the normal rhymes that these children listen to, then I change the lyrics. For the games, we do riddles and jokes, find the objects, and every of these games are Islamic themed. So I just tell them, find the color of Jannah in your room. Bring any object that has green. Then I tell them that, oh, Al-Jannah is this color. Then another thing that, oh, Allah is the creator of heaven and the earth. Find anything that makes you happy. I could just say, I am a prophet. I was swallowed by a fish. Everything is Islamic themed. So I don't want them to see it like, oh, I just come here to read Quran. I come here to learn the Hadith and Arabic. I make it as fun as possible. So they look forward to every session.
What times do these classes hold? Because I assume they run alongside normal school. And are they mostly virtual, or do you have any programs that you do in person?
For now, we do not have a physical class. We are working towards it, inshallah, very soon. So it's just virtual for now. For the toddlers club, I know that most of their parents are very busy. So we only do it Fridays, 5 to 6 p.m., Saturdays and Sundays, 9 a.m. to 9:30. Then for the kids club, is during the week, after school hours, 6 to 7:30. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Then for the book club and the teens club, just weekends, 3 to 4 p.m.
Nice. So I had 2 questions. One of it was, if someone I know wants to bring their kid to this program, is it literally DMing you on Twitter, or do you actually have designated emails where people can reach out to you?
Yes, we have an email address, Islamic Tales for Kids 44. Then you can reach us just there. So you can also reach us through WhatsApp. Then, alhamdulillah, we now have a link. When you click on that link, you just fill your registration details, pick the club your child will be joining us in, then you pay your fee, then you submit. So that's how it works now.
I think the other thing I was curious about is, because obviously it's not just you teaching, there's so many classes, right? So you have other people. What do I actually have to have as a person to get qualified into being able to take one of your classes?
So for the Quran, just be someone that knows the Quran, the rules of Tajweed, everything applicable to Quran. Then you must have knowledge of the Hadith and Arabic. So most of my teams are university graduates of Islamic Studies, except for my Quran teachers that went to Institute of the Quran. Yes. Though for my own role, I've not found somebody to assist me. So it's just me across all the clubs. So I'm still looking for someone that can do what I do.
We'll definitely include all the details. It's definitely something that I feel like a lot of people would benefit from. Like I mentioned, there's the accessibility issue. Most people are not aware of things like this. So the more visibility we give to platforms like this, the better it is going to be for the Muslim Ummah. So you recently launched your book, The Little Muslim's Journal. Take us through that journey. Is this something that you've always wanted to do? Is this something that just started when you started Islamic Tales for Kids? Is this to get more reach to parents that maybe are not able to join these clubs that you mentioned, and they would like to use it as a resource for training their kids?
Okay. I don't know if you've noticed, I'm someone that is very shy. And I have this, if you can remember, I mentioned that I get scared so easily. So let me go back to how I started Islamic Tales for Kids. And my husband said, "This woman, you are good now. Start an online madrasa." So he was always pushing me. And I'll be like, "I cannot do this. I'm scared. I'm scared." So he pushed me to start saying Islamic Tales for Kids. So I started by just reading books to people online. That was how I started. And we started with summer classes last year in August. And the turn up was, wow. So yeah, I was so surprised. And I was like, wow. That was how I just switched and turned it into a school that we have now. So same thing with the book. He just said, because I write a lot, but you won't see me speak out or put out my writing. So he said, "You know you are good with writing. Why not write a book for these children?" And I was like, "Are you sure I can do this?" He said, "Of course you can do it." So that was how I started. Then why I decided to go with the Little Muslim Journal. My son, he asked a lot of questions. So yes, he was the inspiration. He was always asking so many questions, like Islamic Studies in my school. My teacher is like this. My teacher is like that. How can you make Islamic Studies fun? Can we see Allah? Why can't we draw pictures? He was asking so many questions. So sometimes when he asked questions, I was like, "Oh, I can put this into writing. I can make Islamic Studies fun for these children. We can paint. We can put our thoughts into writing." Then I also looked, these kids, I want them to have something of their own that they are free to put in what they want to put in when it comes to Islam. I want something that when they look into that book, they are free to put down their thoughts about Islam. And I want to also put out a book that would benefit every child, that when they see it or when they go through it, they get to know about their religion without being taught. Okay, for each of these pages, I gave different akhlaq lessons. There's kindness, there's honesty, but I want them to know all of these things through stories. I don't just want to teach them that this is what honesty is all about. So I want to have a book for them that they can easily go to it. When they need direction, when they need a particular hadith, a particular verse, I just want something for them that would benefit them today and tomorrow. Yes, so I was just looking out to raising a confident child that they can speak up about their religion. I want a child that is bold, because we growing up, we didn't know so many things about our religion. Maybe because we were born into it. We didn't study. We were just doing what our parents want us to do. It is only few among us that now began to see that, I need to read about my religion. I need to look for this. I need to look for that. That's why till today, I envy those who are reverts. I envy them a lot. Because I think with them, yes, Islam is sweeter because they looked for it. And what I believe is something that you worked hard for. You know the value. I'm not saying we born into Islam, we do not know it. We do. But with them, it's sweeter. It's different. So I want a child who would fall in love with Islam. Not because my mom is a Muslim. Not because my dad is a Muslim. I want them to be able to see that, this is why I am a Muslim. This is why Allah wants us to be here. I have seen the beauty and I am willingly submitting myself to Islam.
You know, as she was talking, because I loved to read, like when I was a kid. I used to gobble all the books, and I remember there was a period of time when I was a teenager, and there used to be the over witnesses that would pass our grandma's shop at the time, and they would stop over and talk to us and give us some of those I don't know if you've seen those pamphlets, and I used to collect those pamphlets, not because I was interested in the religion, but it just felt like stories to me,
and it was interesting to read.
And I used to read it, and I think there was a time they were talking to, because they had been coming then for months, and they would be giving me the book and I'll be collecting. They really thought there was something there, but to be honest, all that grabbed my attention was the books, the drawings, the things inside. And what you were saying earlier about having something of your own, it's a huge one, and that it's such a way to also capture a set of kids that just like reading, and that's just a way to capture that imagination there.
Capture their attention.
Understand. Another thing I wanted to say is you have high self-awareness, like you know yourself, because you said earlier that, oh, I'm shy, I don't want to do this, I'm scared. And you mentioned earlier that your husband had been the one to say, you're good at this, you're good at this. And even though you felt like, okay, can I really do this? That's me with driving, by the way. I don't think I can learn how to drive. He kept saying, do it. And you, even though you were afraid, you tried to do it. And one point I want to say to our listeners is that, and this is something I reckon with as well, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us all our gifts. And look at your story. You wanted to do law. Allah kept steering you in this direction. Also, I think that we owe it to ourselves and we owe it to our creator who has given us all these gifts to pay attention, right? And if we're not paying attention enough, it's going to put people around us that say, hey, you do that thing. We need to listen. We need to try. I'm just trying to imagine how many kids have come through. Like, you've not even done this for too long. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of kids already. Imagine in 10 years, if you keep going this way. Imagine 20 years. Imagine the lives that you're going to change. So, our listeners, we need to be on top of our game.
Yeah, I echo everything you've said. And maybe just like reflection. I know you had mentioned earlier that most of us grew up learning the deen from a place of fear. And one of the key words you said is nurture, right? We should nurture the younger ones, help them understand the why. But for those people that are not parents and they already have this intention, what can they start doing now for the kids around there, like their nephews, their nieces,
Friends,
and friends, kids?
Because it takes a village, right?
Like,
it can't just be the parents and the teachers finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
They should be deliberate. So, and this action would only come with you not limiting yourself to a particular knowledge. So anytime that they have the chance to study, let them study about their religion. Let them further in their Quran recitation, learning about the hadith. There are so many online classes. We also have adult classes. Because I remember when I was in my madrasa, so it was difficult for me. Yes, it was difficult for me to master my tajweed because the Yoruba version of reading the Quran, I was like, which one is this kind of recitation? So if you call me for Quran, I'll just go and read it like a book. And that was it. So I don't have the correct pronunciation of tajweed. I started it because of myself. So they had to take me back to Surah to Falak. Even though I had memorized, yes, some chapters of the Quran, but I had to go back. So they need to be deliberate. Go back to classes. And if you know you cannot afford joining any online class, grab your Quran. We have so many apps online. Even if it's just one alphabet, it's a step towards being deliberate for your future kids. And if you want to practice, you have kids, your nephews, your niece, children in your environment. Practice, make use of the resources that you have around you.
Okay, thank you.
As she said earlier that she had to go back to Suraj Palak, I'm like, there'll probably be some people that will be like, now take me back to it.
Yeah, so I had to go back. I had to Surah to Palak.
Yeah, Allah make it easy for us. I have two more things. One of it is, first of all, for you, looking ahead as an educator, author, what are your big dreams for Muslim children's education? Next 10 years, ideal world.
Because now you've broken into the industry now.
Yeah.
You know, this is your lane. You already have the track record now. We hope you're not still shy.
Yes. No. This is me even talking. I'm not shy. I'm growing. I'm looking forward to owning a school of my own, inshallah.
I know that was coming.
By the will of Allah, we are working towards it. I want to own an Islamic school. And what I am looking at, I want a kind of school that I don't think they've seen that type. Wallahi, that's it. The kind of school that I don't want where teachers have to wake up as early as 5 a.m. because I've taught before and it wasn't easy. I don't want that kind of school. And I don't know if there's a law in the educational sector that we have to resume by 7 a.m. for teachers. I'm finding out. I'm reading about it. Is there a law? That is it compulsory that teachers have to resume by 7? School have to close by 4? No, I don't want that. I don't want to stress teachers. I want a safe place for teachers, a safe place for my pupils. And I want a kind of education that a child is happy to go to school. happy to see your teacher, a teacher that is not tired. So I want that kind of structure, and I know I'm going to get it.
Sure.
Whatever it is, yes, I might just be shy to take that step, but whatever it is that I set my mind to, I always do it.
There's this book I was reading, and in the book, the thing they were trying to say is that the way our brain works is that if it encounters something that it's not familiar with, it wants to run away. But the thing is that anything that we feel afraid to do, it means we really care about that thing. And so the fear is not that don't do it. It's like, actually, go and do that thing. And I was like, so maybe that's a way you can keep translating these things and be like, okay, yeah, it's time. And again, remind yourself, I guess, of your history of, okay, I've done, when I do this thing afraid, it went this way.
And yes, another one. I also want to have a bookstore. Yes, I want to be
It's giving, I don't even know.
I want to own a bookstore. Yes, I want to own a bookstore in a school. So that's where I see myself in the next 10 to 15 years.
May Allah make it easy. One other thing I would say, as fellow employer of labor ourselves, because we have a team that helps us with our social media. I want to say that I actually really rate that this is also a business, right? You actually pay people. It keeps growing. You're actually feeding some people indirectly, their family, going back into the economy. And that's kind of the mindset I also want us Muslim women to be in, and thinking that if we're fulfilling all of the aspects that Allah has kind of, put into us and giving us, like, would I call it dominion over, it just makes the society better as a whole. As you're like a great mother to your kids, you are also, doing this, which is helping some other people's families. So it's like, the more we do, the more we use the gift that, again, Allah has given us, the better it is for everyone, to be honest. So just wanted to shout out that bit as well. Wow,
this has been a very wonderful conversation. I think what actually spurred this was Anifa and myself were talking about the whole Tarbiyah thing and all of that. We're like, we should have Islamic educators somewhere. And honestly, you've done justice to it. We really like what you're doing with the Islamic Tales for kids. Even hearing the clubs you have, I'm like, okay, that's really good. I like the fact that you also have something for teenagers, because with this world that we are in now, that's like a very critical age. So, and again, like you said, it takes a village, right? So seeing efforts from the parents, effort from the family, efforts from educators like yourself, may Almighty Allah continue to make our ummah better.
Ameen.
May continue to bless us. May continue to make us grow in knowledge. So yeah, really, really happy that we have you on the podcast today. And we'll definitely link all of your info for people who want to follow